Your 1960s hair is great. You remind me of Lulu. Do you know who Lulu was?
No, who's Lulu?
She was a singer, probably about my age, maybe a few years older. She
Blonde?
She's famously known for the "To Sir with Love" song.
Okay, yes. I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
She was
Yeah, she
very...
always wore her hair like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I like it a lot, too.
So how have you been the past couple of weeks?
I can't remember.
Oh, welcome back to the podcast.
I have to keep a diary nowadays so that I remember.
I know, I should be doing the same thing.
And I get mad at myself because I don't write as many details in my diary as I want to.
Why don't you? Lazy?
Good point. I should do it, but we had a fun-filled weekend. Was it last weekend? With the Shriner cars?
Oh, that was 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think. It was like right after our last podcast because last weekend I had a wedding.
Okay. So I went home and I'm like, I should write about this weekend just to keep track of it. And I did a little bit. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Your hair is kind of giving like emo boy in 2004.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's that like side bang
Yeah.
situation.
Are you saying it doesn't look good?
No, I like it. It's just funny. It was just reminding me of how I used to do my hair in middle school. Okay, well, do you want to hear about my week?
Yeah, that would be nice of me if I wasn't so, what's that word? Narcissistic. I would have already asked you about you.
They all know you by now.
Okay. Hilary, how was your week?
Are we sitting extra close together right now?
It's good.
Okay. So I had a crazy past couple of weeks, I guess. Well, I shot a wedding last weekend. That was, well, should I tell the story about what happened to me?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I shot a wedding on an island in Maine, and I had to park at a park and ride, and then you take this bus that's essentially a school bus to a ferry, and then to a ferry stop, and then you get on the ferry and you go to the island. However, I'm there super early because I get anxiety when I shoot weddings because I want to make sure, especially on an island, it's you don't want to miss your ferry or it's just stressful.
Right.
And all I need to do is get there and I'm fine. And
sorry, I'm laughing ahead of time.
yeah. So the bus gets going. People load it up. They put all their stuff underneath the bus. But I have all my camera equipment, so I'm like, I'm keeping this with me.
Right.
Which was fine because there were probably 10 or 15 people on the bus. There weren't that many people. So you could just keep your stuff with you. But people are putting open old LL Bean bags on the bottom. And
totes.
Tote bags, yeah. Boat totes. And so we start driving and we go probably a mile, maybe a little less, and we just hear this little voice outside of the what it randomly does the thumbs up.
Gives us a thumbs up.
Last week it gave a thumbs down.
I know.
So guess this story's great.
Yep.
Thank you, ghost. So suddenly we hear a little voice on the road go, "Your stuff's falling out."
Your stuff's falling out?
Yeah, and so everyone's like...
This was somebody from outside?
Yeah, on the street. No one noticed inside the bus. So what had happened is the bus driver, I guess, left the doors open, and people's stuff just started falling out. But instead of turning the bus around, he's like, "What do I do?" And everyone's like, "Turn the bus around."
And how many people on the bus?
15.
Okay.
So then he wasn't taking any sort of action.
Was
and
he still
the
driving?
thing, yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, well, then he stopped. But the thing is, people were asking him to stop, but also to turn around. And he was like, "I don't know about that." And they're like, "All of our stuff is in the ditches." What do you not know about that? And then some other old man on the bus is like, "I have antiques in there." Sir, why are you putting antiques under the bus? Just loosen an LOB bag. That's what I don't get. And what antiques were they? I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
But then, because the bus driver wasn't taking any action, but he had stopped, like 3 people got off and they're like, well, I guess I'm going to go run. So they all got off the bus, started going for a run. Just run backwards to try to get the stuff.
Right there? Okay.
And then, I don't know if I told you this part, there was a little boy with his dad sitting in front of us, but his dad just suddenly got off the bus and started running. And
Left the little boy?
yeah, so the little boy starts crying, and the woman next to me heard it. I didn't hear it, but she was like, "Oh, it's okay. He'll be right back." He just went to, but like the dad just like jumped into action and just got off the bus. And so then the bus driver was like, "Maybe I should turn around and go meet up with them." It's like, yeah. Meanwhile, I have to text the wedding planners to be like, so I might miss the ferry because the bus driver left the doors open and everyone's stuff's everywhere. And she was like, what the hell? And I was already pushing it. Like, the ferry schedule is already going to get me there, like, right on time. So if any sort of delay happened, I was screwed. And the ferry doesn't wait. So, like, the bus driver wasn't
He's
contacted.
not waiting for anyone.
No, he didn't contact anyone either. Like, he didn't even make an effort.
What was wrong with the bus driver?
Old man. He was
Old Maine man.
old Maine man. Yeah, it was just a series of comical events. It was just one thing after the other. And then when you get off the ferry, you can take this like trolley up to the inn where I was shooting. And I was like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to wait. So I had to book it. I was sweating. I had to run up this massive hill to the inn.
I didn't know
And I got to the bride and I was like, hi. And the wedding planner, I guess I told the bride. She's like, I just heard what happened to you. I'm like, oh, God. That was like the last person I wanted to know what had happened.
Right.
But I think she could see it on my face. I was like, I made it to the wedding.
You could have taken a water taxi if necessary. True.
Yes. Yeah.
If something...
But it would have taken it wouldn't have been a quick thing. Like, you have to call and then get the water taxi to cut. Like, it would have been.
Is there a 911 water taxi?
There should be.
Oh, there probably is.
Yeah, that's true.
I probably shouldn't be joking about that.
Yeah, it was crazy. So anyways, after that, I spoke with an astrologer.
The end.
I said, my life is falling apart. Someone help. Which was crazy.
Yeah.
I won't get into too many details. Honestly,
not like the personal ones. Just the funny ones.
yeah, I don't. Okay, so, well, one pertains.
Says mother.
Says mother. Well, someone is going to die in the next 2 years, it said. And it better not be you have too much to do.
I know it's going to be really sad if it's me. Well, I guess it's going to be. I meant for this part.
Yeah, but anybody else.
It's going to be unfortunate. However, we do have a lot of content that we can continue, and I have told Hilary there are lots of things I won't let her put on the internet until I die.
Yeah, maybe I do want you to die.
So there will still be content, never fear, if I'm the one.
God, I can't even think about that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It makes me emotional.
Okay, I can tell.
Okay. I do feel like I'm having a slow start today, right? My brain's just kicking in.
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw this astrologer, and by saw, I mean I talked to this man from Kentucky on the phone who has a Nelnet email and no website, which that's how you know he's legit. He's not out there like trying. He just like, you have to know someone who knows him. And I did. So
That's like Bernie Madoff.
he said,
You couldn't invest in his company unless you knew someone who knew him. But anyway,
yeah, it's just like Bernie Madoff.
do you know who that is?
Yeah, some guy.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Good. So he said a lot to me that was crazy. Like it's not like, so if you don't know what astrology is, he basically looks at your birth chart and is like, oh, the planets were in conjunction here. And like, this is what that means. And it all has to do with where you were born and what time you were born and the date. And he can like read about your life through that, just knowing that. And so he backtracked and was like, oh, in 2009, did you have like a big life event happen? Did you do a big move? My dad passed away that year and I moved from Tennessee to Boston. Like, and that was like a continuous thing. He like predicted all these things. However, he was he was not giving me some like direct answers about my future, which was like annoying, but I know that's not his
I hope
job.
you're not one of the two.
Deaths.
Yeah. You were supposed to chuckle.
I hope I am.
No, stop it. Stop it.
No. You just went through 4 stages of grief after. I saw you go, oh no, what if she is? No, he said, oh God, what if I am? That's why he wasn't being direct with me.
Yeah.
No, it seems as though I have a future, according to him. Some sort of future, I guess. But anyways, I thought the most fascinating part was when he started talking about my past lives, because I didn't expect that. So this conversation went on for 2 hours, which was amazing. And I feel like you're really in my...
Really in your
You're really,
today.
like...
Okay. I'm enthralled.
Okay. You can sit like that if you want. Good. Okay, so... Then he talked about my past lives. He said that my past lives, in a lot of my past lives, I was very, very famous. In a lot of them.
They all say that.
No, they don't. Don't take away my
Okay, I'm sorry.
joy.
I'm taking away your joy and your story. Sorry.
Okay, but the thing is, he said my purpose in this lifetime is to learn how to settle down and not chase after a job and not make my job my whole life, because in all of my past lives I've made my job my whole life.
So you didn't have children in your past life?
He didn't.
Or families?
He said, yeah, in a lot of them I didn't have kids, but he also doesn't know if I'll have kids in this one either. But that's not really what he meant. He meant like more like
You were just really committed
settling-
to your avocation.
yeah, like actually like slowing down and enjoying my life and time with people that I love. Because in a lot of my past lives, I was just focused on work and I became famous or did like all these things, but I didn't feel fulfilled on the front of like feeling close.
Did
to
that ring
people.
true to you?
I guess so, but I'm like, I want to be famous? No.
You do?
No, I don't
No.
actually. But like, I don't want the option. I don't want the option taken away.
Take it from me. It's not worth it.
No, but to have the option taken from you, you know, like that's not even an option anymore. It's like, okay, well now I obviously want it.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, he also said like, you're either going to be pregnant in November or you'll never have kids ever. And I was like,
That's like pretty black and white.
that is very black and white. It seems very scary to me, and I have a feeling that maybe I won't be having kids. Yeah, it was crazy. But anyways, I want to know who I was in a past life. Like if I was
Did
famous.
you ask him?
No, he said he couldn't tell me that.
Of course he couldn't.
I know. What else? Well, anyways, I've always felt like I've gotten so close to fame in a way that's like that. Yeah, I was birthed by a famous woman. No, I've had this like. I've had a few times in my life where I had the chance to like be friends with people who got extremely famous, or like have these encounters with people who got extremely famous, but I never really did. And then I always in my fucked up head was like, well, that's because you obviously will be famous, and like you can't ride the coattails of anyone else. You got to do it for yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And anyways,
So, you got lucky to live in Tennessee.
I guess.
Isn't this where you're going with?
I am. But do you... Yeah. Should I keep... I feel like I'm talking for a lot of this beginning.
That's fine.
Okay.
'Cause I just think this is fascinating. Well, I always find you fascinating. It's interesting too, where I've heard parts of these stories. Even the bust story earlier today, there was part of it I hadn't heard.
I know.
And it's like it still makes me laugh. But anyway,
So in high school, I think when I moved to Tennessee, I was 16. And, according to my diaries, I was 16.
which we were reading this morning.
Yes. And to preface this, I was going through a hard time. And I was living with my dad and my stepmom. And my stepmom had a, high-end marketing job where she had the opportunity to go sponsor a booth for a country artist at the CMT Music Awards. So she worked for an auto company, like an auto supply company, which is just funny to think about them sponsoring this person. But this singer was this exact same age as me. She's 16. We're in the same grade. She was going to high school out there, and she had just put out her first record, I think. I was a very emo. I liked punk, sad music. I was like, especially when I moved to Tennessee, I was in that stage of being like, oh, country music is disgusting. I hate it. I don't know. So my stepmom was like, hey, do you want to not go to school today and go with me to this event? The girl we're sponsoring is exactly your age, and you might get to hang out with her, and you could help me out. And I was like, ugh, I do not want to go to the CMT Awards. Are you kidding me? No. I was like, that is disgusting. I hate country music. Which, honestly, now that I know more about music, I don't hate all country. I just hate the stupid kind.
You don't like cowboy country.
That's not true, because there's a lot of good gay cowboy country.
Oh, okay.
I think I don't like modern white supremacist country.
Well, of course.
So anyways, I was like, no, I don't want to. She comes home later that night and she's like, it was so fun. And she obviously got to see people, and she worked all day, but she comes home with an autographed CD and a poster and something else. And she was like, you really missed out. It was really fun. And I was like, whatever. I don't care. I'd rather go to school. I have a test today, or whatever nerd shit I was on. And that person was Taylor Swift.
Yeah, let that sink in for a minute.
Ow, that. So then
Well, wait. So she wasn't famous yet.
She
Was she up and coming?
She was up and coming because she had put out her first record, which I think did pretty good. But specifically in the Nashville scene, people knew her, and country music fans knew her. So she was up and coming, but she's hustling. She was putting out new music and getting her name out there. So at the time, this company my stepmom was working for, it was good PR for them,
right?
To be like, oh, this is our logo with this new and upcoming star.
Right.
So whatever. So fast forward to a few years, I realized I actually enjoy listening to Miss Taylor Swift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which now I have feelings about her. Anyways, fast forward, I moved to Nashville when I'm 19. And it's funny because at the time, I was 17, 18. At the time, I remember being on Tumblr at the same time as Taylor, and I would see her posting, she would post pictures, at the park that I would go sit at, and, we were just bopping around town at the same time.
You were
she
almost
lived there, and so but I never saw her.
Right.
And, yeah, so I weirdly remember her posting a picture from the park that said, just sitting in my car watching these people. What is it? Jousting? Is it like when,
Jousting, yeah.
like
fighting with swords?
Yeah, but it's
like
not,
pretend jousting?
but yeah, it's like the LARPing. It's like when you use like foam swords and you stab each other. So she had like posted a picture on her Tumblr, and I was like, I was literally just sitting right there, which was so funny.
No way.
We were both just apparently watching these LARPers in the park, which is such a random nerdy thing to remember.
Wasn't Cindy
I wish I
in
could.
the park?
No, I could have. I just wish I could have been like, hey, watching the LARPers in the park too, which was just such a weird, like, such a Nashville, Tennessee thing to
Wait a
happen.
minute. What's a lopper?
It's people who dress up like medieval and
okay.
have foam swords and like
okay.
foam, like they like joust with their sorry if you're a LARPer and I'm explaining this wrong, let me know. But
I hope we have several LARPers. Let us know.
I hope we do have LARPers. I'd like to LARP. I think I'd have fun.
LARP?
Yeah. I would love to LARP. If you LARP, let me know. I'd love to LARP with you. I'd like to see my mom try to LARP too.
Okay.
I'm feeling very serious today.
I know. Well, that was a very serious story because it could have changed the course of your life.
I could have
Had
been
you-
Abigail. That's her best friend from high school.
Oh, man. Well, yeah.
Imagine.
It would be a very different life.
I wish I'd known so many things, but it doesn't matter. It's just a fun story to have
It is
anyways.
a great story.
I do have another very close run-in, but we'll go into that after because I'd like to hear about your brushes with fame.
Well, I've had a few and probably can't even talk about all of them today. We did a whole episode on one of them 2 episodes ago, John Davidson, singer from the 70s.
Our least listened.
Our least listened episode. Titled We Love You, John Davidson.
Go listen. It's clearly a good one.
But do you know who Geraldine Ferrero was?
Mm-mm.
So in 1984, she was the vice presidential candidate with Walter Mondale.
Okay.
And they were running against Reagan. Hope I got that right. Yeah. And so she came to Portland to do an appearance. And I didn't write much about it in my diary, but I wrote this, it was on Congress Street in Portland, and I was with your dad and Kim and maybe Ryan. And that I said, she came within 2 yards of me.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
That's specific.
Is specific. She came within 2 yards of me.
Pacific?
On the East Coast, not the Pacific Coast. And I noted that she had on a lot of makeup. You know, like the quality things I noted in my diary. But it's interesting to me, I don't remember that we went through any security of any kind.
Yeah, that is interesting. I guess
it
was a different time too.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
But I can't remember when the attempted assassination was of President Reagan.
Yeah. So maybe.
But it was, anyway. So it was interesting. I was really excited to see her, and she walked by me. So that wasn't really like I was talking to somebody. I had a lot of experiences when I worked in Reno. Do you want me to talk about that? The people that I...
Yeah, I do. Okay. Should we tell the people that we're going to Reno?
We're hoping to go to Reno in the fall.
November.
We're
going to Reno. If you're in Reno, send us some recs of dinner.
Send us what?
Recommendations.
Oh, I'm going to be the rec.
Yeah.
Flying to Reno.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And if you're asking why we're going to Reno, great question. And you'll know about that soon.
Yeah. I mean, I used to live there.
Yeah. But can I say that you're doing research for a book you're writing?
Yes, you can say that.
So we're going to Reno to do some research for a book she's writing that I'm very excited about. And she started writing it, and it is going to be very, very good.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
So a lot of these will end up when we go to Reno, we're going to do some This Is Where of the following things. So one of the things, have you ever heard of Fabian?
Is he like the hot guy with long hair?
I don't know if he didn't have long
hair.
Oh,
Fabio. Did you see Fabio?
I would have liked to have seen Fabio when that bird attacked him in the roller coaster.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
No, I didn't.
Didn't he get a bloody face?
Yes, came out of the roller coaster with a bloody face, and it's not really funny.
Imagine your whole life is
That's
just
what people
your
think of.
career is all based on your looks, and then you're the one that gets mauled by a bird on a roller coaster.
Sorry for laughing.
Yeah, he's gonna see this. He's
right.
pretty upset.
So I worked in a casino in Reno. I feel like we need to move on as I'm making fun of his bloody face.
Yeah.
Probably not so good.
Bloody face.
And this was in 1974 and 75. And Fabian, Fabian, was like a version of Elvis, sort of. Although he wasn't nearly as famous as Elvis.
Like
or as
Walmart
beloved.
brand Elvis?
Well, he was a Walmart Elvis. What I remember was he was really good looking. But even at that time, he was playing. They had the main stage where big acts came.
Yeah.
Including John Davidson, but I didn't get to see him there. And then they had the lounge acts, which was the lounge at Harrah's was pretty intimate and small, fairly small. But Fabian was playing there, so I wrote in my diary one day. I walked by Fabian, and he looked at me.
That's it?
Yeah, and then another time I wrote that he almost knocked into me when he was walking by me.
Oh, hot.
So in the casino in Reno, I was a change girl.
in Reno.
Not a changed girl, but a change girl. That's literally what they
I
call
think
them.
you were a changed girl
Well,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, that's true. That's
And
why
you'll,
I'm writing
and
about
you'll
it.
learn about that in her book. Coming out. And
Anyway, so I had to carry 50 pounds of change around my waist they called it like a change apron or whatever, and it was like quarters and dimes and nickels and singles.
I feel like that's a good workout tool.
Well, it was incredibly exhausting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you know what else was funny? I applied for the job on one day, and I was working the next.
Whoa.
They wanted to get me in there. They knew I
Yeah.
was. They knew
You
I
were
was
a hot
gonna be
commodity.
and the my supervisor was like, "I can't believe how well you're."
You did good at counting change. Never in my life would I have guessed that. She can't count.
Yeah.
Can't count. I've never seen her count anything correctly.
One time, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but one time I'm in the casino with my change around my waist, and I worked the swing shift, which was. Wait a minute. Did I work swing? Yeah, 4 to midnight.
Okay.
But 6 days a week. 4 to midnight, 6 days a week on my feet the whole time, except for my breaks, 20 minutes. So I worked a shift with a 20-minute break, a 40-minute break, and a 20-minute break. And I made
20, 40, 20.
So I made I think I started with making $15 a shift, and then it went up to $17 a shift.
Oh.
But on my 20, 40, 20-minute breaks, frequently, when I had a quarter or two, I went to the casino right next door, just had to step out the door and walk in the next door, and play blackjack
Blackjack?
during my break from working in the next door casino.
So you used the money
No,
that you made.
no. Sounds like I took it out of my change apron.
No. I know what you're saying, but you used the money you were making.
Oh, well, yeah, I used my money to go play. You could play on a blackjack table. You could sometimes, when business was slow, they'd change it to quarter tables.
Ooh.
Because usually you had to play at least $1
Okay.
or 50 cents.
Yeah.
But I would literally, be looking at my watch and like, I got to get back on shift, which is so nutty. And I hardly had enough money for food.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
That's being young and in love.
that's right. So, and one day, I know what I was going to tell you, and then I'll get back to the famous part. So I was always a storyteller and couldn't wait to write home and tell what was going on and write in my diary about it. And so you had very strict rules about how you treated the customers and of how you looked. You needed to look a certain way. Like I could not be wearing my hair like this. I had to wear it so it wasn't in my face. And they had cameras, and they would contact my supervisor and say, tell that cashier to get her hair out of her face.
Whoa.
And the reason was because if you were shifty, which I was not, You might be able to steal money.
In your hair?
That's what they told me the reason was.
What?
So
Wow.
they watched it closely.
So did you have to like
But-
pull it back in like a slick back?
No, but
Oh.
I had to keep it out of my face. And,
Okay.
and all
I'd have
that.
a really hard time with that. I love to have hair in my
Yeah.
face.
I'm sure that was hard on me. But one day, this customer came up to me. Oh, and you were right. You were wrong, and the customer was right.
Oh, who was right? Who was wrong?
Customer was always right. And
Yeah.
because they're spending the money, and you can't. You've got to be very polite.
Ugh.
Although the people,
I'm not.
the people playing the nickel machines were of a lower caliber, generally, people than the people that were paying.
That's
I mean,
messed up, man.
you know what I mean? I mean, they were.
I'm a nickel machine girl.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I'm a quarter.
But I am not low caliber.
Well, I don't mean low cal. You know what I meant?
Yeah.
Like I don't want. I'm not putting down.
I don't know.
People I was in the same category with.
Yes, she is.
This woman came up and poked me in the rear end and said, Miss, I need change. And I turned around and said, you do not need to poke the personnel. And all I wrote in the
Good.
diary was that she was, quote, a bit taken aback.
As she should be.
Yeah, can you imagine? But that's how you were.
That's what happens to me at weddings all the time. People touch me all the time.
That is so
Like,
ridiculous
excuse me. I'm like, you don't need to do that.
to touch me.
Yeah, like you don't need. It's you. It's always my waist. Like, don't touch my waist.
Yeah. And don't poke my rear end when I'm.
Yeah.
Because you need change.
Yeah, and don't poke my rear end because you need change. Oh, that breeze is needed and nice.
Story.
So, something I remembered while we were talking was a few years back I went to Los Angeles and I was sitting at a coffee shop. First, I went into the coffee shop and accidentally went behind the counter.
I've never heard that before.
I accidentally went behind the counter and the guy working there was like, ma'am, get out of here. And I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? I'm so tourist right now. But to be fair, I wish I took a picture of the setup because it was like not very clear. But I tend to do those things because I'm not paying attention. But then I'm sitting having my cup of coffee and someone walks by. We're sitting outside. Someone walks by and takes out a camera. Well, no. They walk by me. They go like this.
Looked at you like that?
And then they walk away, and I was like, no one's behind me. I'm against the wall. So I'm like, were they just looking at me weird? Came back, took my picture,
What?
kept walking, and I was like, this is
Never
either
heard this story.
this is either the greatest prank of all time, or they think I'm famous. Maybe I knew them in a past
That's the
life.
end of the story?
Yeah, that's it. They just took my picture and then kept walking because I think they thought I was someone, but they'd be sorely disappointed when they got home and zoomed in and were like,
That's great.
that is a nobody woman.
Yeah.
So cut to from being 16, then moving to Nashville when I was 17, 18, which I may have already said that. Well, the reason I ended up going there was because my stepmom's friend from her company, who used to be a documentary filmmaker, said, let me have my nephew show you around the city and see if you'd like it. So he introduced me to his friends and like showed me around the city. It was really nice. That guy paid for everything. Like we went out to lunches and dinners and like did all these things. And obviously I was like, wow, this city is really cool because I'm having like this like rich uncle is paying for me to enjoy my time. But reality is I did not have a rich uncle to help continue to pay for my time around there. This said uncle is, and I think was and still is, neighbors with Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. And his wife works for Clint Eastwood. So, like, they have celebrity money. That reminds me of my another, like, just missed situation was
Their celebrity money?
but I got the wife of him is a photographer. I emailed back and forth with her for advice because I was just starting school to be a photographer, and I feel like I wasn't in the mental headspace or like
Well, that's a lot. at a young age.
Yeah,
really.
like I wish I took
You wish you
more
took more advantage of the
of
situation.
that.
Yeah.
But whatever. So I start school. I meet one single friend while I'm there, and
You couldn't get any others.
no. Well, this was the year my dad passed away. So my dad was very sick. So every weekend I lived in Nashville, I'd drive to Memphis and spend time with my dad. So
And how long a ride was that?
about like 3 hours, I think.
Oh, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but and I'd always drive by that town, Bucksnort, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And my mom lives in Bucksport, Maine. And I finally bought a t-shirt this year, a vintage shirt that says Bucksnort, Tennessee. And I bought it. I found it at an Etsy shop based in London, UK. And I paid that shipping to have it come over.
Of course you did.
So anyways, the one friend I made, he had moved to Nashville with his childhood best friend. They got an apartment together. He was significantly older than me. By significantly, it felt like it at that time, because I think he's like 5 or 6 years older than me, really. And he would like come in and tell me the drama of living with his best friend, whatever. And we stayed in contact. I ended up leaving because my dad passed away, so I moved to Boston to be closer to home. And we just stayed in touch via social media. And a few years back, he posted something on Facebook that said, "Wow, I can't believe it's been 10 years since the day I moved to Nashville with my best friend Casey. Look at her now." And I had this sudden realization that his best friend he moved to Nashville with was Casey Musgraves,
Unbelievable.
who is now a very famous country singer. And I love her music so much. And I just thought that was so funny. Like,
You just missed 2 opportunities to write country songs.
yeah, so then I have this like huge regret of never trying. Like, it's because I had that mentality of like, I'm an emo girl living in a country world. So I just was like, this could never be me. Why would I not try to pursue that?
Well,
Why would I not though? When in
how old
Rome.
were you? 20?
No, I was 18.
18, yeah.
No, when in Rome, you try. I feel like I could have done it. I could have been someone, Mama.
But a photographer? Well, you are a photographer.
Yeah, I am that, but I mean a country
very
singer.
good photographer. Check out her Instagram, Hilary Eystone.
Nope, that's not my Instagram.
Okay. Never mind.
It's Hilary Films.
Oh,
Hilary, 1L.
Okay.
Okay. So, God, you got me all distracted now. Anyways, I just wish I pursued. I wish I just tried to, because why not? As an older
Right.
person, I'm like, just do it.
That takes
Do it for the plot. Do it for the plot. Do it for the plot.
That takes self-confidence. And when you're 18, 19, 20, I don't think people come into their real self-confidence till they're in their 30s.
Yeah, I think that's true.
based on
or at
my
least for me.
experience, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I still deal with being self-conscious about stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be better about posting clips of our own podcast on TikTok and Instagram because I get self-conscious of myself.
Right.
But then I'm like, you do it to your mom every week.
Right.
I just posted a video of her freshly waking up.
Oh, yeah, freshly.
Yeah. Rough night. That was it. That was just you post nap. It wasn't even.
I know.
Which arguably,
Which is
like,
that's me living my life post-nap most of the time.
yeah, you kind of live in a post nap.
Yep.
Then this morning when we got up, I started reading my diary from when I was 13 and 14. And I will say that I always did have this passion for music, and like I would have, if I had the confidence, I would have tried to actually learn how to sing properly or play an instrument that I did play the flute, but I couldn't do both, you know. So I found some songs I wrote about a boy that I had a crush on. More than a crush, I think.
Mad hot crush.
Mad hot crush for about too many years.
I love the title.
It's this song. I cannot believe I'm reading this out loud on the pod. I could barely read this to my cousin when we met, and she's the person I'm most comfortable with. So
Now it's going out to the world.
Love Me Back.
Love me back.
It in quotation I wrote, it does need some editing and some music.
Yeah, I think you should sing it.
I'm not singing this.
Oh, come on.
7/27, 2004. Everything I do ends up a mess. I wish things would not end up like this. My life has been so complicated, I wish I could stay in one place, looking you right in your face. Feels like you're so far away. I'm lying here thinking about everything you do. I'm hoping you do the same when it comes to me too. This is the chorus.
The chorus.
Every day I wish I could have that one summer love, that one first sweet kiss that every girl dreams of. I've been dreaming of a day when you would love me back. When I think of you, the tears never seem to stop. Just please, please love me back. Oh, okay, Sabrina Carpenter. Please, please, please.
Is that a line from her?
Yeah.
Oh, she took it from you.
Yeah, she did. She clearly...
She
God,
clearly
I would
did.
love for her to cover this song. When the summer sun is shining... I actually wrote, when the summer sun is shining... I look into your eyes, wondering why this girl I am can't get a man like you, but she can. When I see you laugh, your smile, your face, I get caught in your sweet embrace. Sorry, I'm reading
I
this
like
like
that
slam
line.
poetry. My love for you is nonstop. Oh, no, my love for you is no stop. Please, I want to get caught up in you. I don't even think I knew what that meant.
I feel like you need a pause there. Please, I want to get caught.
Caught up in you. Oh, and then we go back to the chorus. I'm not going to read that again. Time to find out what this is. Do you love me? Do you need me like I do? I imagine you holding me. I imagine you kissing me. So please, please, just tell the truth. And then you do the chorus again.
And then at the bottom she wrote, by Hilary.
C.
C.
So that's the song I wrote. There are about 10 to 15 more songs.
You
Written.
missed your opportunity. You're living in Nashville.
I-
You're clearly a songwriter.
I am a songwriter.
You had contacts that, you were, it was kind of like the universe was telling you were to be a songwriter and a famous person, and you weren't listening.
I know. I was ignoring all the signs. I could have just been up there with Taylor.
And
We could have been
Casey.
battling.
Battling?
Yeah, like like an American Idol.
Would that be, what's that word you were teaching me earlier? Not jousting, but lackers? What was that?
LARPing.
You could have been lapping.
Lapping. We could have LARPed. We could have LARPed for the crown, and I could have been a billionaire by now. But here I am.
Yeah, but here you are.
You know what? I'd rather be me. Should we talk about this has nothing to do with famous people, but should we talk about what I found in my diary?
You're making me nervous now. What did you find in your diary?
Where I said, when I was talking about thinking I was going to have my first kiss playing flashlight tag.
Oh, yeah. Tell that story.
But then my brother shined his flashlight on me, and I was sad because my mom had just told me that her second kiss ever was playing flashlight tag, and I wanted it to be my first.
To understand how weird this is, like she was writing that at the time,
When
not
I was,
like
I think 13.
not in retrospect. It was at the time.
Yeah.
She was hoping her first kiss,
Yeah, first kiss.
would be while playing.
Flashlight tag because it was my mom's second kiss. Which is so funny. But then when I thought it was going to happen, my brother shined a flashlight.
That is such a weird thing, and I love
Isn't
it.
that so funny? That's such a brother thing to do. Like, I can see that in a sitcom happening.
Yeah. Did he know that you were about to get your first kiss?
I don't think so. I don't even know if I knew I was about to get it. I just hoped.
Yeah, we're writing a show about all this.
Well, apparently we're adding that in.
We are adding that
Okay.
in. Okay.
Yeah, but we do need to talk about that.
We do. Okay, I walked by Jim Plunkett and Don Meredith, which...
Who's
unless
Jim
you-
Plunkett?
Unless you're my age, you don't know either one of them. They were famous football players, and they were in town to play golf. And I wrote in my diary, I wouldn't have known them except for their name tags.
Oh, that's really funny. Wait, I think about that. I worked at a really fancy restaurant in Boston for a long time, and Mila Kunis came in with her mom. I think it was her mom. I'm pretty sure we looked it up and it was her mom. But we had this new waiter, and I was hostessing at the time, so I sat her at a table outside, and there was a new waiter, and he's like, You look a lot like Mila Kunis to her, and she's like, she's very distinct. She's like has a distinct look, but not only that, her voice is extremely distinct. So when he came back, we were like, first of all, why did you say that so loud? And second of all, that is obviously her. She was filming, I think, the movie Ted. You know that bear? It's like that inappropriate bear. It's like a movie about an inappropriate bear in Boston.
I never saw it.
Yeah, but she was filming that, so she was just out, and she just goes, "Yeah, get that a lot."
Good response.
I was out of work the day Claire Danes came in.
Aw.
Very sad, and apparently she was very lovely.
Good.
Yeah.
Because if you'd said the opposite, I would have made you delete that too. It's all positivity.
It's all you can't suppress the media.
So there was this comedian named Rip. What?
Go on.
Shall I start again or just carry on?
Carry on.
Taylor. Rip Taylor.
Yeah. I just wasn't expecting you to say there was a comedian named Rip.
Nobody amuses us more than us.
Yeah.
There was this comedian named Rip Taylor. Or as I tried to start when she didn't like my expression, I was putting into it. And I didn't know if it was him. I thought somebody that looked like him walked by me and my boyfriend in the casino. And I whispered, but I don't have much of a whisper voice. I said, I think that's Rip Taylor. And he turned around and he goes, yep, that's me. And I
kind of love that.
Yeah, you can imagine my face. Like, I was probably acting like a nutcase.
Yeah.
And I think I have a pin of his. It's his face on a pin.
Yeah.
That I think he handed me then. But I didn't write that in my diary, so I wouldn't want to. But I don't know. I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love that.
That was a brush with fame.
I just remembered another one with me. I can't believe I almost forgot this. This is one of the highlights of my life. This is someone who played a dad on a TV show.
Oh, we're going to make this a quiz.
Oh, I don't know if you'll get it, though, because you didn't watch the show, but I was obsessed with this show.
I'll hang in there.
I would even be on the phone with my crush and say, hey, we got to get off the phone. The OC is coming on.
Oh.
The OC was everything to me. It still is. I've rewatched it about 10 to 15 times. I love that show more than anything. I quote that show all the time. A couple of years ago, 2019, I was hopping back on a plane from LA to Boston at about 6 a.m. I am drinking my little coffee in the terminal. I look up. I lock eyes with the Sandy Cohen.
Locked eyes? Literally?
He was
staring at you?
No. He was on a business call, but I happened to look up. He looked at me, and then I was like, in my head, I was like, he's looking at me like he thinks he knows me, and I'm like, but I genuinely think I know him because I have this parasocial relationship with a character he played as a dad on a TV show. I love this man so much, and all week I had been quoting him from the show, and suddenly he was just waiting for the same plane as me, and I just could not believe it. And so I was like, Ryan, that's Sandy Cohen. And he was like, what? And he's very distinct. Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? You know him. He's very famous.
Wait a minute. Sandy Cohen's the fictional character.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, I was going to say I never heard of Sandy Cohen.
Peter Gallagher.
Oh,
Yeah, you know Peter Gallagher.
yeah, he played on
big
that.
eyebrows.
Yeah, big eyebrows, good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's so good looking, and he just, even in person, I got that, like, he just seems like he's a good guy. And I had recently watched, oh my God, I have so many brushes with fame. Okay, let me backtrack. I have been quoting him from the OC. I quote him all the time from the OC. I feel like many people my age would be just as excited to see him because he was kind of like the dad of TV at that time. And the guy that played his son, Adam Brody, played Seth Cohen on the OC. And truly was how I've based every man I've ever had a crush on around this boy.
Wow.
I still love him. I'd do anything for him. Anyways, moving on. So I see him, and then we get on the plane. I'm like, act cool, don't say anything. He was on the phone, so like, you know, he's probably just like, I don't want to talk to anyone. He's obviously in first class, boarded first. And the guy in front of me has like the thickest like Boston accent. And he's just like a towny Boston guy. He's like, you know what that is? You know who that is? I'm like, don't embarrass me in front of my favorite person. Do not do that. It's like Steve Martin, Sandy Cohen for me. Like, I got to breathe. I was like, I am breathing the same air as this man. Like, I love him. All I wanted to do was like get a hug from him, like a fatherly hug. I'm like, I just adore him. I now follow his daughter on TikTok, and she's amazing. Anyways, and she posts a lot of content with him, and it just like
warms your heart.
Yes, because I'm like, oh, he seems like such a good dad. So right before that, I had just binge watched a show that he recently had done with this actress I like, and it's like this it's kind of like a sitcom musical, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good, and the kind of annoying side character did a really good job. It was with Lauren Graham too from Gilmore Girls, and anyways, I just watched this whole show. The name is, I'm not remembering it, but if I remember, I'll put it in the caption, or you will when you write it. Anyways, I go to shoot a wedding the next summer. That character, the kid that played that character, is the best man in the wedding I'm shooting. I was like, I had a second shooter with me, and I was like, I'm freaking out right now. I had just binge watched the show. So it was like, I may not have even clocked him, to be honest, had I not binge watched the show.
Right.
And
especially since you're so focused at a wedding.
Yeah, and I really was. Like, it was very lovely. It was at their summer camp in Maine. They used to come to Maine every summer, and it was like, the couple and I love them so much. They're so sweet. And I couldn't verify for a long time, but I was like, that's definitely him. But then they started doing speeches, and everyone was like, he married them. He was leading everything, and everyone kept making comments about him being arguably the most famous sibling. And so he
wow.
Yeah, it was so weird. And I had just been on the plane with Sandy Cohen. I'm like, I'm meeting the whole cast. This is incredible. Anyways, yeah. So those
are combo crazy stories.
Yeah. Wild.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like I've had other famous people at weddings I've shot.
I shot a wedding. Your expression.
When? With what?
Super 8 movies at my friend Evelyn's wedding in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, yeah.
And that was in 1970, I don't know, 1980. I can find the date if need be. But anyway, I was showing to her those movies a few years ago, and she said, see that person right there? And that's Edie, I think it was Steve Allen and Edie Gourmet. That's their cousin.
Is there anything better than like a cousin of a famous person?
I took a movie of a cousin of a famous person.
But like, think about how many times. I mean, even just shooting weddings, and like, there have been famous people at weddings I've shot. How, like, how many times you've just interacted with a sibling or a cousin or whatever, an aunt and uncle of like said famous person, because it happens all the time. I mean, in particular, Maine, because there are a lot of famous people that.
Oh yeah. But what about when you were helping rep for Dunkin' Donuts?
Okay, so my best friend, one of my best friends, Abby, shout out, she got me doing these jobs with her. It was amazing. We basically went to these Dunkin' Donuts events and like gave away free coffee, and we got paid like $150 an hour or something crazy. So we would go to these events. So we did the Dempsey challenge. We had a booth there, and we were giving away free coffees, whatever. You like spin a wheel. And speaking of touching backs, someone said, "Excuse me," and touched my back, and I turned around. Patrick Dempsey. Touched my
so
back.
That was okay.
He rubbed my back. That was okay. That's like, oh, and then when I was little, I was going to a Celtics game, or no, a Red Sox game with my whole family, and I was probably like 8 or 9. My cousin and I weaseled our way in through this crowd we saw, and it was Larry Bird getting his shoes bronzed, and we both touched his back.
You did?
Mm-hmm. So,
While he was trying to get his shoes bronzed?
so kind of Patrick Dempsey and Larry Bird have touched through me. Yeah, I feel I don't have like specific details of that, but I do remember like specifically I was like, I must touch Larry Bird just so I can say it. So even then at 8 years old, I was like, do it for the plot. Because I do think some authority figure like security was like, don't touch Larry Bird. Hey, I know you're 8, but you can't touch Larry Bird. So, anyways. I wish I looked at his shoes more, because they must have been massive. He must have taken a lot of bronze.
Oh, we had some stories here we didn't even remember.
Oh my god, I feel like I have so many.
We're getting a thumbs down.
Why does
we
it-
do not know why this app gives us a thumbs down all of a sudden. We took a pause and we got a thumbs down. So that's what it means. Keep talking, because you girls are great.
We need you guys to be yapping. Yap, yapparoo.
I think, how long have we been going here?
An hour and 3 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we also, there's just nonsense for the
we are
first
gonna
10 to
cut
15.
Some of it. Yeah.
Or look at Lemon. She's sniffing the breeze. Well, thank you for tuning in for our 11th episode of this season. Who knows how far we'll go? We don't know. We have no...
We get stories every week that we have to tell on the pod.
Yeah, we got ideas.
Things happen.
Things happen. We got ideas.
We mix them with the old, come up with the new.
Yep. My hair's already like quite flat from when I did it this morning. I tried to do a 60s vibe. Did I already say that?
We didn't. Yeah, but the other thing we didn't talk about is that you have a resemblance to Taylor.
I don't feel like I do.
Well, people have said that to you before.
Thank you for tuning in. Another episode. Thank you, Dead Gowns, for our song in the beginning, and thank you to me for editing this. That we're gonna probably rewatch this right now and edit it right now, and then post it right after. So
Yeah, you're gonna get it like practically live.
yeah, practically live. Practically live. All right.
And no, nothing.
Maybe we'll run into a famous person this week.
I have a feeling.
You have a failing?
And on that note,
Goodbye.